Welcome back to the Knockman Podcast. We're in the off season. We've been in the off season. We haven't uploaded in a bit, but we finally got Cruz, the biggest head from the crew, and we're joined with a coworker, kind of. He he comes around. He's like, yeah,
Cool,
yeah.
Uncle.
You got your cool uncle who occasionally bring you stories or candy, Edgar.
Yeah, yeah. Some beer, if you're underage, maybe. Just
Yeah, that was
Oh,
actually
actually,
when I thought cool uncle. Yeah, it was that.
a
I've
hundred
been,
percent.
I don't know why.
You have the look, bro. You have the look where if I was a 17-year-old and you were hanging around the school and not in a weird way,
Outside the
I'd be
liquor
like, yo, here's two
store or
hundred
in the parking
dollars.
lot somewhere, like,
Yeah,
hey, bro,
Yeah.
help me out.
yeah. If like 17 years old, you and the boys are trying to amp yourselves up to go just try to buy beer and see if they don't card you. See you. Hey, maybe you just ask this guy first.
Yeah, I've
Well,
gotten it before, so I think it's a cool
here's
vibe.
$200 for two 24 packs.
Fuck.
You can still know how much
They're
shit
getting
costs. It's fine.
I mean,
You can
it's
write
getting
them off.
expensive now, so I mean, you
Oh
might
yeah,
get
for
up
sure.
there.
Is it?
Yeah.
I barely drink. I have so much alcohol that it just sits here.
Oh man,
Same. I had to throw some out.
you guys should
Damn.
throw it out in my direction whenever you feel like.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gave you that Firestone a couple months ago
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that was great. Narwhal.
I'm glad the heat didn't fuck it up because it was sitting in my car and then I was just like, oh shit, this needs to be in a cool environment.
Yeah, yeah. Usually those beers gotta stay a little cold. But hey,
Hmm.
here's beer.
That's true. Beer is beer. But since we're doing the off-season shit, we're gonna be talking about shitty good movies or just bad movies in general that most people aren't aware of. I was talking to Cruz about it, and he brought up that shitty no, what was it called? The Robin Hood movie. That's what started this all
Yeah.
off.
First off, not a shitty movie. Unilaterally considered a really, really good movie, and personally, I like it a lot. And it's not a Robin Hood movie. It's called The Princess Bride. It's like genuinely widely considered to be a great movie.
Yeah, so I've seen clips of it on TikTok, and the acting's terrible. And I was just talking to Cruz. I was like, hey, this movie's kind of
19,
ass.
1987 has an 8 out of 10 on IMDb, 96 Rotten Tomatoes. Its lowest score is still a 78% on Metacritic. That's still more than three-quarters of the people who watch it like it.
Yeah, and I
That's
was
that's good.
and that's where we started with. You know what? We should do an off series about this terrible movie that I've only seen clips on TikTok. And Cruz is like, yeah, I guess. And then I was like, bro. And then we can talk about zombievers, bro. That's how we reach out to Bill
The
Burr.
fact that that was your next in your next breath was, oh yeah, we're going from Princess Bride to Zombievers. Threw me for a bit of a loop, but
Little
Bro,
out of
you
left
know, I
field.
guess
that's
your
how
show,
we can
dude. Do
reach
whatever
out
you want.
to Bill Burr, dude.
You can also just try to email him. I think you can. I
Nah,
think you can reach out to people unprompted.
I think he would want us to come with the background of Zombiever watchers because that's his best movie so far, and he's been in Star Wars a couple of times.
Yeah,
That
couple
wasn't a movie
episodes.
though. That was a TV
Yeah,
show.
Those TV shows are basically just
basically.
mini movies.
I mean, isn't that what TV is?
I guess if you really want to make it broad. But yeah,
I mean,
uh, we talked about good, underrated, terrible movies. Zombievers is up there, so really cool. I brought it up to Edgar because Edgar carries this huge ass water bottle full of just horror icons. And that's all. The other bad thing about trying to do shitty B movies is a lot of them are just creature features.
Yep, so
yeah.
many. That seems to be like the
Hmm.
main vein going through these shitty good movies.
Right? So we brainstormed a couple of movie ideas. There was the Zora movie that Cruz just got done talking about. There's Zombievers on the list. Um,
Closer.
I
we
guess.
got
At least he dresses like Zorro, so I guess
we
I guess
got
it's closer.
Sting on the list. The Romeo and Juliet, the 2000s one. That one's hella
Fucking
good.
hate that movie.
That
Hate that movie so
that
Yeah,
much.
movie looks hella good.
it's a great one.
What other ones did we bring up? Was it Event Horizon, Rising Deep?
Yeah.
Uh,
Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt, which is crazy to me. The Big Lebowski,
Yeah, there you go.
Dead
Big Lebowski.
Alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if any of these movies, or you have any suggestions that we're unaware of, because like I was talking to Edgar, I think Born in East LA is a underrated movie. But if you're Hispanic, then you've definitely seen it because that shit was everywhere growing up.
Yeah, it's one of those
You
like
know,
Yeah.
cultural ones.
Came out the same year. Yeah, it came out the same year as Princess Bride.
that's
No way.
crazy. The quality.
Also, yeah.
That's
Also, for
crazy.
context, Sal, Joe Dirt. You when we were talking about this, you were like, "Joe Dirt, people love Joe Dirt. It's a good movie." Shit has a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
A 9%.
that's crazy. So people need to get better taste.
Honestly, that's such a fucking good movie. Actually, that might actually be one of the movies I've seen the most. That was
Yeah.
like the movie that I loved the most when I was like a kid and teenager and stuff. So I'd watch that shit all the time.
It was pretty good. But as I was mentioning movies to both of you guys, I asked you guys, have you seen the movie Bats? And Cruz was like, Bats? And I was like, yeah, I think it has the guy who voices Sid from Ice Age in it. So Cruz is Cruz and is like, actually, you're wrong. It's not the guy who
Okay,
voiced Sid.
no.
John
You
Leguizamo.
can't be like, yeah, you can't be like, oh, this is such a minor detail. You were like, it's a bat movie. I look up bats. There's like 16 different movies called Bats. So then I have to go, oh, Sal said it's got John Leguizamo in it. That'll whittle it. There's no fucking bat movie with John Leguizamo in it. And then you go with, oh, no. It turns out it's Lou Diamond Phillips, the Filipino actor. Not
Yeah.
Mexican at all.
That was the craziest part.
I
He's
mean,
not even Mexican.
he was Richie Valens, so I mean, I think people
Yeah.
just kind
Exactly.
of associate him with Mexicans.
And
Although in Bats, he plays a white guy, which is weird.
is he playing a white guy?
That's
He's
sheriff, dude.
playing Sheriff Emmett Kinsey. No part of that is no part of that name isn't incredibly like rednecky white.
I don't know.
Emmett Kinsey, bro. Kinsey. When have you heard the last name Kinsey in your life?
Where is it supposed to be
I
taking
can't think of
Not
place,
anything.
by
once.
the way? Like,
Texas
right.
takes
Texas.
place in a town called Gallup.
Gallup,
Yep.
Texas.
A made up
Yeah.
town. Unless it's real. Is it real?
No, it's fictional.
Damn. That would have been
A real
pretty cool.
Texan would know that you don't spell Gallup with a U, you spell it with an O.
Yeah. We chose Bats, or I chose Bats because neither of you guys have seen it, which is crazy. We have one other coworker who's an older Hispanic lady. When I showed her the name, she's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that movie. They used to scare the shit out of me." And I was like,
I thought that was
okay, now
hilarious.
it makes sense why only me and her have seen it because it used to run on Telemundo all the time. And if you are not aware of that, it is a Spanish program. Block? It's a block, right? It's like
Channel?
Cartoon Network, but
Yeah.
that just reruns dubbed movies. And back in the day, it would rerun Bats a lot. So that I would occasionally step in to my grandparents' room and they're just watching Bats. And I was just like, oh, I saw this, but in English. So neither of you guys have watched it. So that's the one we're starting off with. It is super under the radar. It had a what is it, a 4.1 rating?
Yep.
I
Maybe.
think so.
Yeah.
Cruz, since you have a
Yeah,
computer and
4.1.
I did not write the thing, you should do the synopsis for it. That way we could talk about it more.
So, so the synopsis for it, like the actual one they give for the movie, is the small Texan town of Gallup is threatened by bats created by a loopy scientist. They have become infected with a virus that increases both their intelligence and aggression. Only a zoologist and the redneck sheriff can save the town, but as night falls, the menace mounts. That's the whole
It
thing.
actually says
I thought it was
redneck
weird. They
sheriff?
described him as it says both redneck sheriff and loopy
That's
scientist,
Yeah.
funny.
which are such strange descriptions. You would even think that like mad scientist would make more sense, but it says loopy.
I guess that implies craziness.
It implies craziness, but also maybe like a little bit of he's actually stupid, guys. I don't know.
There you go, yeah. Because
He has a
yeah,
whole.
it
Go
does,
for it.
yeah, it totally has that comedic feel to it where it's like, it's not taking itself too seriously, and there's a lot of just goofy antics that kind of go on throughout the film.
Yeah.
So for this next part, Do you just want to talk about the whole last movie, or do you just want to talk about your favorite parts, or
Um,
any highlighted anything you thought was just super dumb?
well, okay, so this movie again, this movie came out in 1999. Um, it's a movie about bats. At no point does anybody ever feel like they're actually interacting with a bat. Like, I get it, limitations, right? And there are like puppets they use for really close-up shots, and I appreciate that. But the entire middle of this movie is a nighttime scene where the bats are attacking and everybody's ducking, but everybody's just like ducking and running into shit at random. It was like there was no blocking on set. There was no thought when they filmed it as to like, okay, no, this is what's going to happen here. So you're going to need to do this, and you're going to need to react this way, and you need to do that. I'm pretty sure Lou Diamond Phillips is just like shooting in directions, and they're just like, oh, if you shot in that direction, explode a bat, and it's all it's 1990s and 1999 CGI, which is terrible, and
Terrible.
so like they're just kind of like at no point does it ever feel like there's a scene where the pets come into a bar and sit down
Oh,
on some pool
Yes,
tables.
yeah, the town scene.
Where the fuck did they not use puppets for that? Those are just like they're lit like just pictures of bats sitting. And like you have puppets, like did you only have the like one?
I think
Did
they
you make
had like
more?
I think they had the two for sure, like the two big alpha
Yeah.
bats.
The two main bats. But like just they don't even have to move. The whole shot is them sitting down. Just just plop a couple extra on the like. To me, there was no reason for that to be that. Like, it didn't make any sense. I thought it was odd. It was stupid in a way that I thought was fun, but also I feel like it wouldn't have been that big of a budgetary constraint to just put some fucking bats on an actual table instead of just pasting them on it in post. The whole scene was
That's
weird. Sal, you related the movie to The Birds
yeah.
when you pitched it to me, which
Yeah.
I get because it's about these aerial creatures chasing you down. Somehow, what the bird? I didn't look it up. The birds came out with the 60s,
Hmm.
67
Yeah.
maybe, and they did that way better.
That's
Like
crazy.
the
That's
the
true.
concept of these swooping things coming to attack people. There was way more thought put into Alfred Hitchcock having this lady run down the street getting attacked by birds. Way more. There was almost none in bats. That felt like maybe they had a night to shoot and they were like, go for it. Just react, just pretend, use your imagination, we'll fix it later. And I don't think it works that well. But
Damn.
but it has the lady from Starship Troopers in it, so that's pretty cool.
She's the doctor scientist that's supposed to be like
Mhm.
a specialist in all things bats.
Yeah, she's the cave diving worldwide expert on bats. Yeah.
Uh,
Dude, this movie you could tell was made back in the day because they had the comedic token black guy in there just saying the randomest shit.
yes.
And I was just like, yes.
I
Like
felt bad
adding
for him too
nothing
though,
to the
because
conversation
Yeah.
or like
yeah, because he's like dating the main doctor lady.
Is
And
he?
then after, yeah, at the beginning they established they're together, and then like after like 20 minutes into the movie, Lou Diamond Phillips is introduced, and she just spends the rest of the movie flirting with him in front of her boyfriend.
Damn.
Like that's fucked. There was no reason for that. I guess that's just how they got down in the 90s, dude.
I guess. What about you, Edgar? Any highlights? Any disappointment things?
well, just that same scene that Cruz was talking about with the sheriff getting surrounded by bats. That whole town scene was probably like the best part of the movie. The main
100%.
doctor lady, the Starship Trooper lady, when she like falls and like some rando from like the diner that's hiding in there just throws himself out there to sacrifice himself for her to the bats, and I was like, that's so preposterous, dude. Like, who the fuck wrote this? Like, it was great though. And she just rolls over and like, no,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's funny that you mentioned that guy. He was the what is it? Disease control people. He was the
CDC?
there we go. He was the
What?
CDC dude. Yeah, he wasn't just a random
All
dude.
right.
He was the
So
Yeah,
there
he's
was
one
a
CDC
random
guy.
guy.
relationship there. My bad. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I
He
was
was
like,
the
who's
one
this
that like
random
brought
guy?
her in. But
Okay.
it was stupid. that he says no, and then they stop attacking her to go to him,
Yeah.
and she could have helped. She could have,
Yeah, she just like kneels there,
and
going,
she's like, "Shit,
ah.
this is all I can do
Yeah.
is watch."
And then after the fact, what everybody else is gonna like, oh, that guy died. She's like, but he saved my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
It's like you weren't doing anything. You were just watching this man get eaten. I
Well,
love to see
this
that like they got one of those. This movie is full of them, but one of those guys where you're just like, hey, it's that one guy from that one thing, and like that's all they ever do. Like it's a lot of these like little actors where you're like, I swear I've seen them in something before. I swear. But the only real big ones are Lou Diamond Phillips and then the lady from Starship Troopers. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen that doctor dude in Seinfeld.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure.
The loopy
in
scientist.
Seinfeld.
He's in Seinfeld, and I want to say he was in Psych as well. But if you were like, what movie was he in? I don't, I don't think he'd ever led a movie. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this guy's been working for probably since the early 90s, and I don't think I've ever seen him lead anything. He's always just that guy. And every other actor in this movie that isn't Lou Diamond Phillips or the lady from Starship Troopers is just that guy from that one thing. So that
I
was
don't know,
fun. Yeah.
A little
but
over the
yeah,
top,
a
but
lot of
yeah.
this, yeah, a lot of this movie is kind of trash.
Yeah. 100%.
Uh, I kind of have a feeling the main actor, bro, the dude from La Bamba,
Yeah.
typically just comes out in these low rating movies. Because, like, I was telling Cruz, I was like, Red Water, that sounds so familiar. He's in it. Also has a 4.1. It's about a shark who's in fresh water that can survive in fresh water. That's the whole thing. It's just a shark in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, because I think the biggest thing he's done recently is he was in the TV show Longmire, which ran for like a long time. Other than that, all of his other like really big movies were in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, when it was like
Because it
popular, that
was
was what was going on during like the B flicky movies was all like creature
yeah.
features, and I'm sure that
I
was
think
his
since then he's
niche.
done like a lot of sci-fi stuff,
Yeah.
but like yeah, he was doing La Bamba. He did Young Guns, which did well enough that it got Young Guns 2, which he was also in.
I
He
think
was in
that
Stand
it's
and
all the way to
Deliver.
3 for Young Guns.
Is it? If there's a 3, I've never seen the 3,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, he had really good like real big movies, but they were like mid to late 80s, early 90s.
So before more than half of the people who listen to this were born.
For sure. Although before more than half of the people that are currently recording this were born, Sal.
Dang, why are you putting Edgar on
I
blast like
know,
that, bro?
man. What the fuck? I was already feeling old with the movie references
This
and
is definitely
stuff.
before my time, and I know for a fact it's before yours, Sal.
Damn.
I think that was another comparison we made too with Tremors, like just all these like other creature features that they kind of took from
Mhm.
Tremors, Birds. I feel like I consider myself a very good advocate of crappy movies. Like I just feel like I have like
Same.
a good taste in movies, but I'll go through and just pick a random like, all right, let's just see what this is. And sometimes
Yeah.
you'll find that little gold nugget, but you have to sift through a lot of trash. And I feel
Feel
like
like
this was
Zombievers, bro.
yeah, yeah, there you go. It's like another one of those examples where like they're so bad they're good. And it's just the cheesiness is what really sells it and makes it really great. This is one of those.
Mm, but yeah, any additional thoughts before we close this up? Because this is just, small little things.
I have an additional question, Sal. Did you know that there's a sequel to this movie?
Yes, I saw it on Amazon. It looked like it's like a TV show or something.
It's a movie. This movie ends. So, Bats, the one we're talking about now, ends with them exploding the mine system that these bats have hidden out in. The sequel is some of those bats made it to Afghanistan. Yeah, if I'm let's see here. This is the pitch for the sequel, right? The summary. In Afghanistan, U.S. Special Forces are dispatched to capture Fazul, a fanatical terrorist who has escaped into a maze of underground caves. But as the soldiers move into the caves, they are greeted by genetically engineered bats. And yeah, it's the guy made the same bats as the bats from before.
Hmm.
He took the bats and then he made more bats and then now they're in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
Weird.
particularly interesting.
No. So
No, I don't think that one would be so bad it's good. I feel like that one would probably just be bad.
yeah. So overall bats, I give this like a solid 8 out of 10. Recommend to everyone. Everyone needs to watch this movie at least once.
I'll
Crazy.
give you
What about
that.
you, Edgar?
I mean, that's a pretty generous rating. I'd give it a solid 6, but
That's crazy.
definitely give it a watch for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely fits that category of just being so over the top and so cheesy. It's just great. I mean, and the special effects at least kind of makes you a little grateful for technology and stuff they can pull off
Oh man, this is post Jurassic Park.
now.
Damn.
We'd already seen really good effects at this point.
Yeah.
Probably give it like a 5. But also it's fun.
What
Like
the fuck?
if 5 is average, that's how a 1 to 10 scale works.
That's crazy.
If you're into monster movies, definitely check it out. There's a lot of fun stuff here. The beginning kind of sucks, and the end is kind of lame. But the middle part is dope as hell.
Yeah, the middle part's good.
Check it out, man. I like it. But a
So
5. I think 5 is an accurate rating.
that's crazy. So what's the next movie? I was thinking we continue with the creature features and go with Lake Placid.
Oh, that's a great one, dude. The giant crocodile
It's
one.
hella good.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Like Placid is
Or
fine.
we could make it more bird themed and go with Sting with
That's a
bees.
bee.
It's flies.
That's
It
that's
flies.
explicitly not bird themed.
It's a
Like your
flying
pitch.
creature.
Wasn't there one Killer Bees or something? The one with the African bees. That one was great, dude. I feel like that one was kind of underrated.
I've never heard of that one.
No,
There's Sting. That was one I was telling you about the wasp that stings you and then you mutate into a wasp.
how'd you guys feel about
Uh,
Van Helsing?
Dude, that movie's
Oh,
great.
you're talking about the Hugh Jackman Van
Yeah,
Helsing?
yeah.
That movie's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that
I'd be
movie's
down for that
hella
one too.
Okay,
good.
so I guess
Yeah,
it doesn't
I'd be
really
down for that one
fit.
too.
I think we just gotta
Yeah,
put these suggestions in a hat and then we draw and then boom.
I'd love to just have the opportunity to talk about the fact that every time he turns into a werewolf, his clothes rip off. But then when he turns back into Hugh Jackman, he's got pants on again. So he just
Yeah.
has a layer of pants under every layer of skin. Because he transforms back to back like 4 times. And
I
he's
think
always got pants
he
on
just didn't
again.
want to hang dong, dude.
I mean,
I think
there's
that's
so many ways to
probably
hide hanging dong that aren't giving you your pants back.
maybe that's how they kept the PG-13 rating was no dong.
Entirely possible.
That was vampire
And then
boobies, though. That was weird.
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
but
right.
like not they were
Maybe
boobies
it was
but
like
they
a.
didn't have the nipples.
Maybe it was like an either or. You know, you could either. It's like how you can
Have
have
one,
like
but
one
not
fuck
both.
in a PG-13 movie. You can show one, can't show the other one.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for the episode. Cruz had a whack ass rating. Edgar was questionable. The only right choice was mine with 8. Stick tuned for whatever we choose next. We don't know. There's a lot of names being thrown about. So maybe by Wednesday we will have another episode recorded.